Hello everyone, this is Christina Wallis, and today we are making what I consider to be a very beautiful and understated plant called Green Millet, and I've been seeing it a lot lately in very beautiful flower arrangements all over Instagram. So I've decided to build it up using some stamens I've not been using and they've been lying around for ages. Those who've been following my channel for a little while would know that I'm in a kind of a funny, interesting transitional period between edibles and non-edibles. So here I've tried edible dust, which I have plenty of colors in, and now I'm using paint, oil paint, which works really well, but I'm kind of limited on colors, so I only have a couple of colors in it. So at the end I've just used up both, a bit of both, and don't know how it would stand the test of time. Probably not as well as just oil would have been. They have particular chalks for clay stuff to use instead of dust, so I would hopefully get to that stage. But for now, this is what I'm going to do. Make sure that your surface is always clean between stages, because sometimes it could get you into loads of trouble. So I just dried my stamens quickly in the oven. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to bunch these things up in bunches of 3, except for the top, which is a bunch of 5. They could be a little bit fiddly to put together. Just stick with it. Now, this green millet is quite a geometrical little structure if you Google the actual live plant. So the idea is to try to place them onto the stem in some kind of a system. I didn't quite manage it, especially not with the first one, but with the second one I tried to kind of go around it like a little ribbon and leave even spaces everywhere, and keep this 3 at a kind of an even level. So basically the idea is that nothing sticks out, all the lines go in an even kind of a line, big line, and there are no gaps, or if there are gaps, the gaps should be nice and even as well. I found that it works so much better with a green millet, which is just as well because it's a green millet, so the gaps are not as visible. Using green tape is a good idea here. Normally I like to use white tape and then color it, but green tape worked better for the green one in here with my shades I naturally use. You can do both, obviously. Don't forget to tuck in all the edges of the tape to make it look more natural. I've actually forgotten to do that for the white one, and it is obvious. Now, I did like the idea of a green tape for the white branch because it gives it nice, it picks through really nicely. But obviously if you do that, then your gaps, if uneven, they become a little bit more obvious. So I think, you know, practice makes perfect, as I always say, and not only I. But yeah, if you do have little gaps, consider using a little bit of glue and filling them in, or maybe just really tidying the background, which I didn't for this picture, main picture. So, but the green one seems to work nicely if you just tuck it all away. As I said, I'm quite happy with it. If using domestic glue, you could just add few stamen heads to these bold bits at the bottom, but it doesn't really matter because you're going to use leaves at the end to hide that bit. And here I'm using some edible dust again to give it some highlights from the selection mentioned in the beginning of the video. I'm still having trouble finding something to seal them with. For cold porcelain with sugar it's easier, obviously. And here I'm just using whatever's at hand to make leaves. More often than not, leaves for my main projects are just used. There's a bit of a afterthought in the rush, so unless they're dedicated leaf video, they're probably not the best ones. But yeah, for what it's worth, here I just thin the ends and I use what is it? This vena. Oh yeah, it's a sunflower vena, and I doubt they're particularly botanically correct, but I think they would do the job. I'm quite happy with the way they look, and I don't dust them with any dust, so it's just a natural color, which often is the case with cold porcelain, and they just don't dust it, and it looks nice and very kind of springy and beautiful, undusted anyway. So here I'm adding them up, and hopefully you would like the end result, even if it's done in a rush. Oh yeah, a bit of bit of burgundy dust here to just add a bit of the dimension, really. So all in all, it's not a very tricky project, is it? It's a bit of a fiddly one, but I suspect it gets quicker as you get used to it. And yeah, there are improvements that could be made. I think I would try to find a way to make it a little bit fuller, and also be careful not to rest your fresh leaf on a millet straight away, because it would leave some indentations, and that's how I dry it. You could obviously improvise here as well. And this is Christina Wallis, and I'll see you next week.